We all have a tendency of looking at other people's lives and thinking that they have it better than we do. We think that way spiritually sometimes as well. If I had that person's life, I would be able to serve God so much more effectively. I would be able to be so much more devoted. But I have these different things going on, dragging me back, distracting me. Well, Paul is writing in First Corinthians to a church where there's at least some people in the church who seem to believe that the ascetic life, the celibate life, is more holy than the married life. And so he's going in and talking to them about the fact that no, it's not that way. God calls each person to live, listen to this, let each person lead the life that the Lord has assigned to him and to which God has called him. This is my rule in all the churches. Lead the life that God has assigned to you. And he speaks to people who are married, to people who are unmarried. He speaks to people who are slaves, to people who are free. He's not saying slavery is a good thing. In fact, he's saying if you can get free, get free. But if you can't, don't be troubled by it. Serve God where you are, wherever you may be. And so as you read on in Paul's other letters like 1 Timothy, you see instructions for people of all sorts of different kinds, instructions for husbands and for wives. You see instructions for people who are slaves. You see instructions for people who are rich and powerful. You see instructions for people who are leaders, for people who are widows. All of these people have a different path, but the call to serve God where they are. In our Old Testament readings, we actually have two women who are showcased this week, Esther and Ruth. And their lives are so different. Esther is at a young age called to the harem of a Persian king, and she's actually selected as his favorite and becomes the queen. And she's in a position to use her charm, use her status to actually rescue her people from destruction. You have been raised up to this position for such a time as this, her uncle tells her. Meanwhile, Ruth is at a young age widowed, and she stays faithful. She holds on to her mother-in-law who is without anything. She says, your people will be my people, your God will be my God. She travels back to the land of Israel. She comes upon a faithful man who becomes her husband. He is a redeemer, a close relative whose duty it is to actually marry her and to therefore raise up offspring in the name of her deceased husband. Ruth, in her hard work, in her poverty, serves God, and God cares for her. Esther, in her exalted yet difficult position, also serves God. Both are placed in different places, but the call to live the life that God has given you does not change. May God give you the grace this week to lead the life he has set out for you, the path he has put in your place, the path that leads to him.